Thank you. Good morning. I'd like to call the meeting to order and acknowledge that we are in Treaty 1 territory, the home and traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Innu, and Dakota peoples, and in the national homeland of the Red River Métis. Our drinking water comes from Shoal Lake 40 First Nation in Treaty 3 territory. My name is Ian Mann, and I will be the chair of the panel today. I'm joined via Zoom with panel members Adia Deloro and Diane Knight. Here from the assessment department today will be Kara Kaplivi, Olena Kostarova, and Jennifer Nichols. The administrative personnel is Belen Rojo. To the Zoom participants of this hearing, please note that you are placed in the waiting room until your property is called upon. When it is your turn, you will be admitted into the meeting. Kindly follow along on the City of Winnipeg's Board of Revision YouTube channel for the hearing process. Once the host admits you into the hearing, please close or mute your YouTube player. You will then be permitted to speak with respect to your property. Once your hearing has been concluded, you can leave the meeting. We will be hearing applications for revision of the assessment roll in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters for which revision is requested have been described in each application, and we will limit discussion to those matters. The statements that are made at this hearing are sworn testimony, and anyone speaking to the matters must be sworn in. Be advised that the comparisons of assessments of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the Board of Revision. The Board of Revision is appointed annually by Council and is independent of it and the City Administration. It makes its decisions on the basis of the evidence provided at this hearing and issues a written order that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the board's decisions with respect to an application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or to the Court of King's Bench if the matter pertains to the application of exemptions from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included with the board's order. With respect to the hearing process, I will confirm the points of appeal with your property to be addressed with each applicant following the swearing in. We will then have the assessor's testimony, followed by questions that the applicant may have, and then the applicant's testimony followed by questions. Each side will also have an opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all of the evidence about an application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket today. The session will close after all of the applications have been heard, and the board will deliberate in private and make its decision, following which you will receive the board's decision by registered mail. As information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will be part of the public record. We will be hearing items 6, 8, 9, and 13 through 17 inclusive on our docket today. Ms. Rojo, would you please affirm the assessor and the first applicant's testimony?
Madam Assessor, please state your full name.
Kara Kaplivi.
And you affirm the evidence you're about to present at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Please stand. Please state your full name.
Lyle Malik.
And you affirm the evidence you're about to present at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Are there any preliminary matters that need to be addressed prior to your evidence, Ms. Kaplivi?
Nope.
Thank you. Then if I could address or have you address, please, the item number 6 on the docket. That's 489 Kingsway.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. The subject property is 12-1205015500. It is the street address 489 Kingsway. It is 420 North River Heights neighborhood. It is a 2-story single dwelling built in 2022. It has 2,632 square feet, a full basement with basement finish, 1 full bath, 3 half baths, 2 showers, central air conditioning, 2 fireplaces, a multiple attached garage. The assessed lot size is 4,824 square feet. It's on an external corner with light traffic influence. It has a 2024 assessment roll value of $1,124,000, which is $427.05 per square foot. Comparables 1 is 204 Waterloo, Comparable 2 is 1757 Grosvenor. Comparable 3 is 390 Beaverbrook. And comparable 4 is 22 Green Lawn Street. The comparables are in the neighborhood of 620 North River Heights and 626 Sir John Franklin, which is all within close proximity. All the comparables are two-story single dwellings built between 2017 to 2020. The square footage ranges from 1,980 square feet to 2,558 square feet. All comparables have full basement and basement finish. Comparables 1 and 2 have 3 bathroom, 1 half bath and shower. Comparables 3 and 4 have 2 fireplaces, 2 half baths with showers. Comparable 1 to 4 has central air conditioning. Comparable 1, 2, and 4 each have a fireplace. Comparable 1 and 3 have an attached multiple garage. Comparable 2 and 4 have a detached multiple garage. The lot sizes range from 4,687 square feet to 4,822 square feet. The time adjusted sales price per square foot is $393.76 to $495.15 per square foot. The time adjusted sales price is $873,600 to $1,266,600. There's a map of the comparables attached. As well, there's permit of the new building that was built, along with drawings of the floor plan, and a permit for a deck are attached. The subject falls within the range of the comparables, and I ask that the assessment be confirmed. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. McAngus, do you have any questions of Ms. Kaplevy?
Nope.
Ms. DeLauro, questions?
I do not. Thank you, Chair.
Ms. Knight?
No, I do not. Thank you.
I just have a couple questions for clarification. You referred to the time adjusted sale price, and the time adjusted sale price, Ms. Kaplevy, would be what? In terms of mathematically, how is that determined?
The time adjusted sale price is something that the modelers behind the scenes do, so I don't know the specifics. They are time adjusted to the reference date, which is April 1st, 2021.
And April 1st, 2021 as the reference date of the value, for want of a better word.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. I don't have anything further. Mr. McAngus, your application, please.
Just for clarification, sorry, it's Mr. Motluck.
Oh, Mr. Lotlick, I'm sorry, I had the wrong.
Not a problem. Yeah, so I submitted some evidence. I put together a summary of about, I believe, 15 properties. As far as I used the link on the Board of Revisions paperwork here for the assessments in 2021. I organized them by 2-story buildings and with a assessment or a 2024 assessment between $1 million and $1.5 million. And as you can see in the summary, other than one property at Oak Street, all of these properties are at least a minimum of 2,900 square feet or more, whereas my property is 2,600 square feet. And the land value of all these properties are 9,000 square feet or more, whereas my land square footage was around 4,000. I included the individual assessments for all those properties. That might be a lot to go through this morning. Yeah, for my evaluation of 1.124 million, it does seem high when I'm looking at the other assessments for the market region 7, which my property falls in. Those are the comparables that I was able to access on your websites. So a little background, I bought this house in 2018. I discovered that there was water leaks in the basement. Upon removing some of the drywall, it was clear that there was significant damage to the foundation. I hired a structural engineer. He determined that at some point in the history of the property, the house was lifted, a truss was put on top of the walls, and steel supports were put in, but were insufficient. When I searched for a building permit for any of this work that was done, no such building permit existed. So then city ordered me to correct the situation, which I was pretty much presented with two options. One, tear down the house and rebuild. Two, lift the house, dig out the basement, rebuild the basement, and then set the house back down. When I did compared the financials for both processes, they were about the same. And that wouldn't account for the damage that might have happened to the house by lifting it and setting it back down. So then I started the process of having to tear down the house that I'd purchased and rebuild it, reapply for a new mortgage, and had to obviously get an apartment for a year while the construction was being done. And we just moved back into the house in last year, November. And then in March, I got a new assessment for the property at 1.125 million, at which point my taxes went up from $6,000 to $12,000. So that's what brings me here today.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, before we proceed, can we take a quick recess? We've lost one of our panel members.
Oh, certainly, yes. I was going to, there's a couple of things I have to address when you return. Thank you. We'll take 5 minutes.
Hey, never mind, it appears she's back. You can proceed.
Thank you. We'll call this meeting back to order. I noticed, Mr. Appleton, that you had referred to other assessments. As I indicated in my introduction, the board does not consider assessments of properties evidence in that comparable sales, absolutely, but other assessments, no. The other, and you referred to it briefly, so I didn't interrupt you, but the evidence that you filed with respect to the, I guess the assessment value or the appraisal that you filed is post-reference. It takes place after the reference date of April the 1st, 2021, and that's not something that is to be considered by the board. What we are considering is the market value of your property as it is now, what it could sell for as of April 1st, 2021 to a willing buyer. So just so
could you clarify that? In the summary, I've got the evaluations that are calculated just as presented with these evaluations here on the evidence that was submitted as well. So that was the 2021 sale price, and then the
sale price. Yes. What we are not considering is post-reference data, the time-adjusted sale price. Well, for example, with respect to your property, it's what the value, the reference date as of 2021, we do not consider evidence subsequent to that date for this. I mean, and we're getting into a little bit more. I don't want to interrupt your presentation to any extent, to any great extent than I already have, but evidence of matters subsequent to the reference date, or the reference date can equate to the valuation date for this. What your house would have sold for as of April 1st, 2021, if it is in the condition that it is as of today, October 3rd, 2023. So post-reference sales, I see the look. It does seem unusual, but post-reference sales are not something that we consider. The sales to which you refer were sales that took place before the reference date, and they are adjusted via a mathematical formula to give the sale price as of the reference date, that being April 1st, 2021.
Okay, that's the most up-to-date information that was on this government website that in this paper tells me to reference. So if you're saying I can't use that, it seems a little lopsided, but.
Well, if you have sales comparables prior to the reference date, then that's absolutely acceptable. You filed information about other assessments, which we will not consider as evidence. But please continue with your presentation with the evidence that we can consider.
So for the comparables on the evidence that you've submitted, all the reference dates are before 2021, that's why they're allowed. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Okay, I don't have anything further.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Kaplevy, have you any questions?
No, I think you already mentioned them. Thank you.
Thank you. I didn't mean to jump in there. I just thought I would clarify. Ms. Knight, any questions?
Yeah, so when was the property dismantled?
It was dismantled in March of 2022.
Okay, so the property description that the city gave is as of April 1st, 2021. That's how the property sat. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then you're saying that the basement had an issue when you purchased it. And when did you purchase it?
When did I purchase it? Sorry.
Yeah.
That would have been July 27th, 2018.
27th, and it had an issue of what again? The basement?
The foundation was cracked and caving in.
Okay, so can I ask the city a question then? Did you take it into effect that the foundation was cracked and it was caving in when you made your assessment?
Thank you, Ms. Chair. I just wanted to clarify that the property is valued present condition as it stands today with the reference date of April 1st, 2021. The property was purchased, I believe, the appellant can correct me if I'm wrong, was purchased in 2017. The property was torn down and rebuilt in 2022.
Sorry, yeah, that's correct. 2017. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And sorry, what value are you asking, sir?
The value I'm asking for is the assessed value of the property without any building on it, which was assessed at $225,000. Plus the construction cost was $716,000. For a total of around $930,000.
930,000 you're asking for? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. DeLauro, questions?
My questions were asked and answered. Thank you.
And I don't have any questions. Ms. Kaplevy, any need of summary?
The comparables support the assessment. The assessment falls within the range of the comparables. I ask that the assessments be confirmed. Thank you.
Thank you. And then Mr. Lawlock, any summary?
Nope, just that the price that I'm asking to be assessed at falls also under the comparables on the submitted. So I asked that it be compared to the 3 properties that are also on this evidence. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll conclude this matter and we will have a letter sent to you via registered mail with our decision. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we will turn to number 8 on the list. I believe that's the next matter we have scheduled. That's 284 Ash Street. And we have an assessor, the same assessor, Ms. Kaplidi.
Mr. Chair, there is no one present for this property.
Okay, perhaps what we can do then is stand this down to the end of the meeting and we will discuss in camera what we are going to do and then continue on. Okay, so if we can stand this matter down to the end of the docket, please, Ms. Rojo.
Okay.
Then move on to number 9 on the list, which is 362 Oakdale.
Okay, and I've just admitted our participants into the Zoom meeting room.
Okay, they have not been affirmed. I don't believe that's Mr. and Mrs. Spidell.
Yes, we're here.
Okay, could you please affirm them, Madam Secretary?
Okay, so I'm going to affirm each of your presentations today. I will start with Mr. Spidell. Mr. Applicant, would you please state your full name?
My name is Ivan Spidell.
And I'm Joan Spidell. It's White.
Thank you. Okay, so do you confirm that the evidence you're about to present at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
We do. We promise to tell the truth at this meeting.
Okay, and you, Ms. Spidell, do you affirm as well?
Yes, oh, definitely. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And Ms. Kablivi, then, can we begin with your presentation about 362 Oakdale, please?
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, I am going ahead right now. This is
No, we'll have the assessor go ahead first. Ms. Kablivi
Okay.
is going to tell us a little bit about the city's assessment, and then you'll have an opportunity both to ask questions and then to give your presentation.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. The subject property is 01002317500362 Oakdale Drive in the neighborhood of 617 Marlton. It is a one-story single dwelling built in 1979. The living area is 1,678 square feet. It has a full basement, no basement finish. It has 1 full bathroom, 1 half bathroom, no shower, no central air, and 0 fireplaces. It has a multiple attached garage. The assessed lot size is 26,499 square feet. It has a 2024 assessment roll value of $470,000. The assessment per square foot is $280.10. Comparable 1 is 744 Fairmont Road. Comparable 2 is 638 Fairmont Road. Comparable 3 is 250 Fairmont Road. And comparable 4 is 655 Hilton Street. All the comparables are very close in the same neighborhood or next door. All the comparables are one-story single dwellings built between 1971 to 1985. Comparable 1 and 4 have a small effective year built. The square footages range from 1,302 square feet to 1,668 square feet. Comparable 1, 3, and 4 has basement finish. Comparable 1 and 4 have 1 full bath, 2 half baths, and 1 shower. Comparable 2 has 1 full bath, 1 half bath, and a shower. Comparable 1, 2, and 4 have central air conditioning. Comparable 1 and 2 have 1 fireplace. Comparable 4 has 2 fireplaces. All comparables have an attached garage. Comparable 1 and 2 are singles. Comparable 3 and 4 are multiples. The lot sizes range from 11,604 square feet to 23,582 square feet. The time adjusted sales price per square foot is $303.65 square feet to $346.44 per square feet. The time adjusted sales price is $403,200 to $525,700. The map is attached that shows the comparables. I did speak to the homeowner, and he expressed concerns with the construction that is occurring. We are willing to reduce the assessment by $20,000, bringing the value to $450,000, as the construction is in progress, and it would be $450,000 with the commercial influence, which works out to $268.17 per square foot, which would be the lowest of the comparables. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. and Mrs. Spidel, you've heard the recommendation to reduce the assessment to $450,000 with the reduction as well in the price per square foot. Have you had a chance to consider it, or what do you think of that recommendation?
Okay, we disagree because mainly our street or our home is going to be devalued because of can you hear me?
I can. I'm just going to interrupt you for a moment. You've said that you don't agree with the recommendation. That's fine. But what I'm going to ask from the procedure point of view, and you get an opportunity to make your presentation, but first in the procedure, you please ask questions of Ms. Kaplivi, the assessor, questions that you want her to address from her evidence, and then we will ask some questions, and then you will get a chance to make your presentation. Okay? Thank you. Do you have some questions for the assessor?
None of these comparables are as close to this building, to this construction, or to any apartments as close as we are. We are directly in line. Our traffic is going to be increased tremendously with 300, very close to 300 additional families going on to Grant and Roblin.
Mr. Spidel, if you could, and as I said, you'll get a chance to do your presentation. If you could frame that in a question, that would be very helpful.
Certainly, I can question you and say to you, are any of these apartments next door to this apartment as we are on Oakdale Drive?
We're talking about comparables.
Yes.
It's hard to compare our situation to any of these that you've listed, because our situation on our street from a quiet street is going to be changed immensely because of 270 apartments coming onto a residential street.
Ms. Spidel, if I can assist you just for one moment here, Ms. Kaplivi, would you agree with the assessment about their view of the comparables, or can you explain? No,
Yeah.
I'm asking
The
Ms.
assessment of the comparables doesn't it?
Spidel, I'm just asking Ms. Kaplivi that.
I don't see how you can compare us to them, because there is no situation that they are facing that we are facing right now. There is no comparable. If you
No, thank you, Ms. Spidel, Mr. Spidel, if I can just maybe rephrase what you've just said to Ms. Kaplivi, because this is the questioning part of the process. Ms. Kaplivi, would you agree that the applicants are closer to the construction than your comparables?
Yes, I would agree.
Okay, thank you. Is that a fair way to frame the question, Mr. and Mrs. Spidel?
I don't understand the question. What was the question?
I asked if any of the comparables were as close to the construction as you were, and she said no, they were not.
And we disagree.
They are not.
They are not. They are not. The years are close. They were built.
I'm gonna stop you there. You certainly get a chance to ask questions of that, but
Okay.
to be going more into your presentation, which we will certainly hear, which I'm looking forward to hearing. But for now, we're just going to go through the questions. So if I'm going to stop you right there and maybe ask the other panel members, or not maybe, I will ask the other panel members if they have questions relating to the to Ms. Kaplivi's, the assessor's evidence, and then we'll continue on to your presentation. Fair enough?
That's fair enough.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Knight, have you any questions?
Not at this time. I'll wait till the other presentation is done.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
And Ms. DeLauro.
Just one question with respect to your comparables. How did you derive at them?
How did you
The question is, Ms. Capri, question is for the assessor. Thank you. I'll call on you when it's your turn, please, Mr. and Mrs. Spidel.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have to look at sales that occur before the reference period. So there were no sales directly across or beside the subject property. I got sales that were very, very close to the subject property that were similar to the subject property in terms of the dwelling.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions.
I have a question with respect to traffic. The as I understand it, there's going to be increased traffic and increased construction. Was that taken into account beyond the $20,000 reduction that you had recommended, or is that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I'm sorry. My question is to Ms. Kaplivi here, Mr. and Mrs. Spidel.
The question was referred to us?
No, the question was to the assessor. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm just asking what the assessor knows about the traffic or what led to the $20,000 reduction. That's for the assessor to answer, please.
If we added the land influence, it would be $20,000 reduction.
Okay. And the land influence is the traffic and construction and noise.
It would be the commercial would be adjacent. We don't take into account the construction, the noise, but we're willing to do it on this for now.
Okay, thank you very much. And I have no further questions. Mr. and Mrs. Spidel, would you make your presentation, please?
Okay. When we first moved on to Oakdale Drive in 1979, this was a quiet residential street, and the big lots were what drew us to the street. And during that time, the big lots have a big history because they were VLA lots given to the veterans when they came home from World War II. There was 19 lots on our side of the street that were 100 foot by 265. We prevented 2 of those lots from being divided. And then when this sale of property across the street from us, which is quite a big sale of property, we knew something had to go in there, and we hoped that it would be condos. And when it was proposed that an apartment of 270 apartments would be directly across from us and entering onto our quiet street, we couldn't visualize what this was going to be like. If it was emptying onto Oakdale, or not onto Oakdale, but onto Grant or Roblin, it would be those are main arteries. But ours is a quiet residential street, and that is against building policy as far as we were told.
I'd just like to jump in and say that the city has shown the people of Oakdale Drive that they can do anything they want. They have entered Oakdale Drive in the center of a residential street, and this is against their rules, and yet they allowed themselves to do this. Go ahead, please.
We had made this presentation to the builder and to our counselor, who was Kevin Klein at that time, that we are hoping that they would put in condos. There for the traffic. At the end of our street, there is 2 reasons why this should not go. It is in the middle of a residential street, and at the end of our street, there's a school, and there's a arena also, which should not be in the middle of this big traffic that's going to hit Grant. We, at this time, even before they started building here in February. They started tearing things down. And ever since then, we've had big trucks, and we don't even get our mail delivered. right now. We have to pick it up.
The city has told the post office about this construction. The post office didn't even send anyone on Oakdale Drive a notice saying where to pick your mail up. They just stopped delivering mail. And the delivering man said he's not delivering mail because it's too dangerous. But we got children going to walking to school, and these guys are telling us.
But we're more or less looking into the future when this complex is finished. How much traffic is going to come out of there? Out of 270 units, there's going to be, we as a family, we have 2 vehicles. There's going to be more than 1 vehicle per family. Those are 1-bedroom to 3-bedroom apartments. So it isn't just going to be 270 vehicles. There's going to be more. Also, they have sanctioned or said that the builder has said that they are going to allow a senior center to be built there. There's more traffic coming in. We are going to be inundated with traffic, and we're just right across, definitely across from the entrance to that complex. So how can we as a resident of this street expect to sell our house with this being across the street from us? It's devalued our property by an immense amount. Nobody wants to live across the street from a big apartment building with traffic coming and going. And I'd like to see who would say, oh gee, the only reason we could sell our house is because of the beautiful big lot that we've established over the 44 years we've been here.
Thank you very much. I'm going to ask the assessor, Ms. Kabliva, if she's got any questions of Mr. and Mrs. Spidel.
Yes, I did notice there. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I did see a recent permit here. Do you have central air conditioning in your house?
It was put in recently.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And are there any issues with your house?
No, there isn't. We have kept it up over the years. We've done many things to this property. We've had the house piled. We've put in hardwood floors ourselves in all of the, except the kitchen. There's another mistake on the building description. We do have a fireplace. It was built with a fireplace, a wood burning fireplace, and we changed it. We had it changed to a gas burning fireplace. So that's another thing that's out of line. The central air we've only had for the last 3 years.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I have no further questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Ms. Lauro, do you have any questions?
I do. What value are you looking for?
In the order of
400,000.
well, just as yes, close to 400 to 420 in there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Ms. Knight, any questions?
So this assessment is at April 1st, 2021. At April 1st, 2021, was that building across the street already started?
April 21st, 2021.
Right.
No, we're 21. This is 23. Yes. They just started it this year in February. But
okay,
we took them to court.
So at April 1st, 2021, was the church still there and everything was still there that was?
Yeah, that's correct.
This assessment is valued at April 1st, 2021.
I see. I'm sorry.
It sounds to me like what you want to fight is your next assessment, not this one. Because this assessment at April 1st, 2021, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Chair, would say that at April 1st, 2021, the city is saying it's worth 450,000. You're saying at April 1st, 2023, it's worth 420 to 400. Yes. But that's based on the 2023 stuff that with the new building going up next door. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So at April 1st, 2021, you would say that the 450 is still correct.
I don't know how they assessed.
Well, yes, it would be.
Yeah. I don't know how they assessed. Thank you. That's what they assessed it at.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And I don't have any questions. Ms. Kaplivi, do you have any need for summary?
No, thank you.
Mr. and Mrs. Spidel, all the questions are done. The hearing is almost completed, but if you want to make a summary to us, you're more than capable of it. We'll allow.
We regret very much how the city has handled the situation for the residents of Oakdale Drive. We've really been screwed around on this street, not only by the big one is that they put this big complex in the middle, entering in the middle of a residential street. And when it first came out, I thought, well, gosh, they're going to be entering it at Bill Clement Freeway. But no, there is no entry there. The only entry is in the middle of a residential street against the rules of the city. This is so very, very wrong.
We have to reside to the fact that this building is going up. We're watching it go up. We can watch it from our sitting room window. We see all the aspects of building, and a lot of big equipment goes in there. We know that it's going ahead, but the problems are not now as what is going to be we're going to be facing when this is completed and people are living there and the traffic is going to be immense.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we certainly have your points, and we will deliberate. We'll conclude this matter now, and we'll send a registered letter, or the board will send a registered letter with our decision. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time, sir.
We'll have to pick that registered letter up on Wilkes. It doesn't come to our house.
With about 20 kilometers of driving to pick up our mail.
Okay.
We'll do our best to get it to you as.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
That concludes this matter then.
Okay.
And if we can turn please to number 13 on the list, which is the next matter. I believe that's 1186 Grosvenor. And is that Ms. Kaplivi? Is that your matter as well?
Yes, it is, Mr. Chair.
Great. If you can proceed with your presentation.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Sorry, Mr. Chair, I need a swear in our applicant.
I didn't have a check mark indicating that the applicant was present, but yes, please affirm the applicant.
Please state your full name.
Gregory Frank Maximovich.
And you affirm the evidence I present this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Sorry, I jumped the gun a little bit there. Ms. Kaplivi?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. The subject, I'll have you be known that this is for a 2023 assessment roll value. The subject property is 12,031,468,000. The street address is 1186 Grosvenor Avenue. It is in the neighborhood of 601 Crescentwood. It is a two-story single dwelling built in 1946. It has an effective year built of 2006. The living area is 2,382 square feet. It has a full part area basement, no basement finish, one full bath, two half baths, one shower. It has an attached multiple garage. The assessed lot size is 6,072 square feet. It has a bus route and light traffic land influence. The 2023 assessment roll is values $947,000, which is $397.57 per square feet. Comparable one is 225 Yale Avenue, built in the same neighborhood area, 601 Crescentwood. Comparable 2 is 325 Montrose. Comparable 3 is 2 Symphony Niagara Street, and comparable 4 is 322 Montrose Street. Those three comparables are built next door at 620 North River Heights neighborhood area. Comparable 2, 3, and all are 2 stories. They're built between 1909 to 1929. The comparables have been extensively renovated to give an effective year built of 1957 to 1999. The subject property has also been extensively renovated. Comparables all have basement finish. Comparables 1, 2, and 3 each have 2 full bath, 2 half baths, and 2 showers. Comparable 4 has 2 full baths and 1 half bath. All comparables have central air conditioning and 1 fireplace. Comparable 3 has an attached multiple garage. Comparable 1, 2, and 4 have a detached multiple garage. The lot sizes of the comparables range from 4,410 square feet to 6,422 square feet. The time adjusted sales price per square foot ranges from $376.87 to $522.74 square feet. The time adjusted sale price is $785,400 to $1,110,300. There's a map of the comparables attached. There's 2 permits attached for the attached garage construction, as well as the construction of the addition and the drawings of the plans. I did speak with the homeowner on August 31st, and I asked for an inspection. He declined. The subject property is within the value of the comparables, and I asked that the value be confirmed. Thank you.
All right, who's muted? Mr. Maximowicz, have you any questions for the assessor?
Yeah, I think I do. Like, I think I had in my, what I was going to say, how the comparables, just comments about the comparables, but perhaps I can word it in a bit of a question now and come back to it as well later, if that's okay. So, Ms. Kaplave, do you believe that Grosvenor Avenue is equal with the comparables in regards to traffic, bus routes, and overall noise?
Which comparables, sorry?
To all of any one of the comparables. So either Yale, 2 on Montrose, or Niagara. Do you believe Grosvenor Avenue is equal with regards to traffic, being a bus route, and overall noise?
There is no land influences on those, as our modelers have demonstrated. However, all those streets are through streets. None of them are dead end streets. So they do get a lot of the local traffic going down those streets.
Okay, but I guess I can't ask any more, would be opinion, I'm assuming. So, so I'll leave it at that. Thank you. Do you believe that the property at 1186 Grosvenor Avenue compares equally with the rest of the comparables, so all 4, in regards to basement type, finished basement, number of full baths, number of half baths, number of showers, and fireplaces?
Yes, these are the comparables I chose that are closely to Grosvenor, the subject property.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Thank you. Ms. Knight, any questions?
I do not at this time. Thank you.
Ms. DeLauro?
I have no questions, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
I just have a couple, something with respect to the permits. The permits were taken out March 30th of 2021. And I'm just looking at page 1 of the permits. That'd be page 3, or page 1 of 1, but it's page 3 of your presentation. Permit details. Issue date 3/30/2021.
Checking. The one for the remove existing roof and construct a 2nd-story addition on top of the main floor and construct a 2-story addition to the rear. That one's dated October 2019. And then the partial permit is dated 2019. Sorry. And I have too many papers here. And then, yes, there's a attached garage that is dated March 2021.
Yeah, that must be the one I was looking at. Yes, I see. I see that now. Now the total square footage that was added to the residence, not including the garage. What can you help me with that? What that number was?
There's a site plan for, I'm not sure what page it is on, going back in the drawings there. And it shows a new addition of 832 square feet, the existing house of 1,225 square feet. And then the attached garage of 864 square feet.
If I can say, I don't know if this, I haven't done the math to see if that equals the numbers. Ms. Kipley just I told you, but the original house was 1,226 square feet, and the new, I guess, after renovation is 2,386. So I have an addition of 1,160 square feet based on that simple math.
Well, thank you. I've got the site plan in front of me now, but you'll certainly get a chance. But thank you for that additional information. I don't have any other questions. Mr. Maximowicz, your presentation, please.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you again for giving me the opportunity to speak today about the assessment at 1186 Grosvenor Avenue. I want to start off by stating I completely understand that the value of my property has increased, and I'm more than willing to pay on the increased value and pay my fair share. I do believe, though, that the increase significantly overvalues my property, and I'd like to present a case as to why with supported evidence for your consideration. So I want to start first off is this was partly based on the questions that I was asking. So Grosvenor Avenue is a busy thoroughfare known for heavy traffic, as well as a bus route leading to excessive noise and safety concerns. Persistent noise on a busy street. When the buses go by, we can actually feel it in the floor of our house. Crossing the street can be a task, especially for our kids. We're always giving them the briefing as they go out the door. You stay away from the street because it is used, especially during rush hour, as a major or a commuter route for sure. The traffic does fluctuate, but it does have its heavy times where it's used to avoid Academy or to avoid Corden Avenue. The location is not reflective to premium real estate, and that should be taken into account. Crime in the area, break-ins and property crime are horrible in the whole River Heights area. Everybody knows this. This is in the news. I hate to say it, I'm almost embarrassed about it, but it's almost becoming a norm to hear about this and to have to deal with it, and it's almost not even surprising anymore. Obviously has a negative effect on the value. I want to talk about the structural aspects of the house. I want to be very clear that this was an addition and a renovation. This is not a new build. The foundation is old in the main area. That's the only place we have a basement. Where the addition was constructed, that's a crawl space. The lowest level is made up of the original 1946 foundation. Usable basement square footage is not even close to the footprint of the house. And I think that really, I want to emphasize that just in case it does get overlooked. We have no extra costly features such as a fireplace or any extensive woodwork or features or finishings. There's nothing luxurious in the house. And I debated whether I wanted to say this next part. We had to cut like crazy. We were going through job loss time in the middle of this renovation. I work in the aviation industry, and I had lost my job for a significant period of time, and we weren't even sure if we're going to be able to keep this house. So we cut. Like there is nothing luxurious in the house. All woodwork is MDF. There is no extra features, and I really want to stress that. I want to talk about the existing water and sewer lines. They're original. They connect to the original foundation of the house and they come in. The main water supply is actually lead and it needs to be replaced, and that's something I need to do sooner than later. Sewer lines are original. We've already had to clear them twice in the past 2 years. They're costly features, and I think they have a direct impact on the overall worth of the house and shouldn't be overlooked. I want to take into account the assessment, the abnormal market conditions brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic. I'll touch on this more when we talk about the comparables, but the comparables were taken at a height of a spike in housing prices. The prices aren't the same. We all know, like, they are going down, and these are if we look at the end of 2020 and the beginning of 2021, that was the height. That was abnormally low interest rates. People were renovating and buying, well, people that could afford it. And it was a spike, and I really want to be careful to base home's overall value on a small window where everything was spiking. I want to lead into the comparables now. Beautiful homes, 322 and 325 Montrose. 326 was one of my comparables that I submitted. So actually, before I go further on this, I want to talk about, I think with just like the first person who was there, the way I took the April 1st of 2021 date was that you wouldn't look at anything previous to April 1st of 2021. I felt that was giving the most accurate property value for the area, and I think anybody would agree with that. I know that's not the way it's laid out, so I think there's nothing I can do about that. But I actually had next door to one of your comparables as one of my comparables. 325 Montrose, that's the one, that's comparable number 2. I believe, I'm just double checking here. Yeah, sold for 1.1 million. This is actually our family's house. Our family bought this house. It's not fair to compare what we did on Grosvenor Avenue to this house on Montrose. This house has extensive woodwork, super high-end finishings, a steam shower, heated floors throughout. The fridge in that house is $20,000 alone. The coffee maker is $7,000. Take that how you will. I don't know if that's usable, but I have an intimate knowledge of this house. It is not a good comparison of our property. The home had over 15 plus offers and went for $200,000 over asking price in the height of the peak pandemic sales. Looking at the brief, and thank you, it's laid out so well. Mine isn't even close to this, but it's so easy to compare. But all the comparables have finished basements, all have fireplaces and high-end finishings, all have more bathrooms, and the streets are completely residential and much quieter. My home has none of these features, none of the above things that I listed. Next, I was going to talk about the comparables that I had submitted. I just want to clarify, I can't talk about these. These aren't permitted then as evidence. The sales dates. Sorry.
Those are post-reference sales, and those won't be considered as evidence by the board.
Okay. Yeah, the dates I had was July 11th, 2023, April 12th of 2023, July 31st of 2023. Going for as close as I could. I had one that was a little bit older, and actually you might be able to find it in the City of Winnipeg comparable sales data. It was on Dudley Avenue. It was a new build. So I'm kind of adapting on the fly here to go back into if we look at Market Region 7, page 17 of 56, lists all properties on Grosvenor Avenue. The highest property on Grosvenor Avenue, sold in 2020 for $576,400. And then the time adjusted sale price was $611,600. Significantly different than the assessed value of $947,000. Now, I also want to talk about, I also want to say it was a 2.5 story house. Now, Ms. Kapley, you had mentioned that I didn't call you back about booking the inspection of our house. There's a couple reasons why I wanted to do this. The first one was when the data is presented to me on comparable sales, there's no interior assessment of these comparable sales. It's going strictly by number of bathrooms, finished basement, fireplaces, garage, lot size, square footage. It's all by data that is submitted and I guess kept track of by the city. There's no inspection when using these comparables to my property. So I want it to be on a level playing field that way. The other way was it would be the city of Winnipeg coming in to assess my property. I feel if an accurate assessment was to be made, it would have to be by a third party, somebody who's neutral to the situation. And I have something to say if I'm given a chance to speak for a conclusion, but I think that is everything that I wanted to say to you.
Thank you, Ms. Kaplidi. Have you any questions?
Yes, I do. Thank you. Just to clarify there, when we do look at sales, we do look at MLS listings, we look at interior photos, we send out property questionnaires to owners to try and find out what the interior of the house is like. We do a lot of research goes into the verifying those sales. Did you bring any photos of the interior of your home with you?
No, I did not. In the evidence, I submitted a photo of the exterior.
Right, I did see the exterior, nothing of the interior though.
No interior photos.
Okay, did you have an appraisal done since the house was completed?
I have had an appraisal done recently and I'm waiting for it to come back.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions.
Thank you. Ms. Knight, any questions?
If you were going to say, where's that, page 17 or whatever? Just a minute, sorry. I just flipped to the wrong place. So page 17 is looking at your street. Just a minute, 18, 17 is Grosvenor, correct? So you're saying 1162 Grosvenor, a 2.5 story, is close to your 1186, is that correct?
Sorry, you're saying that was in the city.
So on page 17, you've got 1162 Grosvenor and 1152 Grosvenor, and you're 1186, correct? Those are both two.
I'm 1186, so 1162 would be close. When I gave you the example, I took the highest sold house on Grosvenor Avenue, which was that was a 1052, just above 1186 Grosvenor Avenue. So as my reference point, I took the highest sale on Grosvenor Avenue.
Okay, so that was 2020, correct? And that's a 2.5 story.
That's
and
correct.
What year was that built?
See, this I don't know. Like it's I'm going by the sales data that was submitted here.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. I just have a couple of questions. You talked about the water lines needing to be replaced. Have you got an estimate with respect to that, or have you had one prepared for you?
No, I have not yet. I've been told the range of that cost, but I'm not. That would be speculation at this point.
Sorry, I do have one more question.
Yep, go ahead, please.
What value are you looking for?
Okay, I was hoping you would ask that because I'll tell you what the renovation cost me, including the lot. The total spent was $535,000 on building. Again, we had to do the cost per square footage of building works out to pretty low, but we had to cut a lot, and I had to do a lot myself because of unemployment at the time as well. So I'm not looking for $535,000. I completely understand my house is worth more. I would be happy with $600,000 to $630,000. I'm fully ready to pay my full share. I just believe the $947,000 significantly overvalues, and I would never, in my opinion, I would never be able to sell the house for that amount.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I just
Sorry.
had a couple
Thanks.
more questions. You purchased the house when?
So the house was purchased in May, I believe, of 2019.
Okay. And the renovations were completed when?
Well, there's still some baseboards that need to be put on, but approximately when I guess the last permit was closed early this year of 2023.
And your total renovations cost you indicated were $535,000?
Yes, including lot. Sorry, including the home, the foundation, the previous foundation that was left on there, the main story that was kept, and then the second story addition, the addition off the back, and the attached garage.
Okay.
Sorry, can I ask another question?
Yes, please.
What did you pay for the property?
So I paid approximately $190,000. It might have been between 185 and 190. I can't remember exactly.
Sure.
The house had extensive water damage from a roof that had been leaking for multiple years. It was very unkept, and the property was in bad shape.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Kaplevy, any need for a summary?
Yes, thank you. Unfortunately, that is a flaw with our sales data. It does not indicate the year built or the square footage of the house, so it is hard looking at the addresses on Grosvenor if they are comparable with the subject property. The appellant did not provide any sales to support a value that he is asking for. I feel the comparables 1 to 4, the subject falls within that range, and I ask that the assessment be confirmed. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Maximowitz. Summary?
Sure. Yes, I did provide sales data that is inadmissible, and I know it's the same thing as not providing sales data. And I apologize. I was trying to give the most accurate reflection of the current value of my property. Thank you for considering my appeal. With the factors I presented today, location, structural issues, market issues, comparable sales data, impacts of inflation, demonstrate the need for a fair and accurate assessment. Thank you for your consideration. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to hearing back.
Thank you. We will conclude this matter now. And before we move on to the next, we'll just take a 5-minute recess. Is 5 minutes enough, everybody?
Sure.
Okay. Great. We'll see you back in about 10:15. Thank you. Now, if you can give me some assistance, please, Ms. Rojo. I see the last 4 items on the docket that I have: 99 Wellington, 915 Nairn, 301 Arlington, and 43 Rochester. I do not have applicants' briefs for any of those matters. Have any of those applicants checked in, or will any of those applicants be appearing?
There's no one in attendance for the remaining items on the docket.
Okay, then what we will do is we will go in camera for discussion with respect to what we intend to do with these, and if Ms. Kaplevy and the other assessors can just be put on standby for a couple minutes while we decide, and then we'll consider our position. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rowe. I know we will turn next to 284 Ash Street. We have received the evidence of the assessor. We have not received any evidence or any brief from the applicant, nor has the applicant chosen to attend. We are going to proceed with the hearing of the evidence and then deliberate with respect to this matter as well at the conclusion of the docket. So, Ms. Kaplevy, can you please do your presentation or give us your presentation with respect to number 8 on the docket, 284 Ash Street? And you're muted. Ms. Kaplevy, you're muted. We can't hear you.
Sorry, yes, I just saw that now. I just wanted to clarify, I've seen it done both ways. Am I reading the subject and the assessment, or am I going through the whole brief, reading the comparables as well?
Please give a summary of the comparables, do the subject and the introduction, and if you can just do a brief summary of the comparables and how you arrived at the values.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. The subject property is 120500920000. The subject address is 284 Ash Street. It is in the neighborhood of 620 North River Heights. It is a 2-story single dwelling built in 1920 with an effective year built of 1940. 1635 square feet living area, a full basement, 1 full bath, 1 fireplace, and a detached multiple garage. The assessed lot size is 4,823 square feet. It has a 2023 assessment roll value of $419,000, which is an assessment per square foot of $256.27. The comparables are all within the same neighborhood areas: 348 Niagara Street, 362 Ash Street, 195 Ash Street, 234 Oak Street. They are all 2-story single dwellings built between 1920 to 1930, and some of them have an effective age of 1926 to 1945. The bathroom counts are similar. Comparable 4 has central air conditioning. All the comparables either have a built-in garage single or a detached single or multiple garage. Comparable 2 has a sunroom at the front of the house. The lot sizes are very similar, from 4,552 square feet to 4,824 square feet. The adjusted sales price per square foot is $275.36 to $294.14. The time adjusted sales price is $433,000 to $482,700 square feet. There is a map attached to the subject, to the brief, as well as some recent interior photos of the subject property. I ask that the value of $419,000 be confirmed. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. DeLauro, do you have any questions?
I do not have any questions. Thank you.
Ms. Knight, questions?
No, sir.
And I have no questions. So any need to summarize, Ms. Kaplevy?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Then this matter will be concluded. That's your last property, I believe?
Yes, it is.
Thank you for attending. Thank you for your presentations today.
Okay, thank you.
And now we will turn to number 14 on the list. That is 1202-99 Wellington Crescent. Madam Secretary, will you please affirm the assessor?
Madam Assessor, please state your full name.
Olena Kostarova.
And you affirm the empty bar present at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kostarova. We're turning our attention now to 1202-99 Wellington Crescent. Would you please introduce the property and give us your presentation?
Thank you. The subject is roll number 120-322-16700. This is a condo, and the condo number is 75. And the street address is 99 Wellington Crescent, and this is a penthouse. The unit number is 1202. The neighborhood area is located at 117, which is Roseland neighborhood. So the building style is an apartment condo, and the year built is 1960. Due to some renovations done for this unit, the effective year built is 1980. The living area of the unit is 1,665 square feet. It's 3 bedrooms. It doesn't have full bath. However, it has one bath with the standing shower and just 1 half bath. It has the central air conditioner, 1 fireplace. It has in-suite laundry. It has a balcony, and it has 2 indoor parking stalls. We have the view feature for it. It faces traffic, and the assessed value for 2023 is $387,000, which brings the total assessment value per square foot at $232.43. I'm presenting to you 4 comparables, which are taken from the same condominium, number 75. And I was taking the more for this per square foot. So the units we will be looking at are ranging between the living area sizes 1,095 per square foot, per the largest one 1,687 square feet. Now, obviously the effective year built is the same 1960. However, some renovations were done in all of the units, and the effective age we have ranged between 1975 to 1980. The bedroom count is 1 less count as for our subject. So those comparables, they all do have 2 bedrooms. Even though taking comparable 4, which is the largest unit, it's still only 2 bedrooms. The full bathrooms, they all have a variety of bathrooms. Some, such as comparable 1, only have 1 full bath. And the comparable 3 has 1 full bath with the standing shower. And the comparable 1 has the 1 half a bath with the standing shower. So technically all those comparables 1 and 2, 3, they have way less bathrooms than our subject, and only comparable 4 will have 1 full bath, 1 half bath with a standing shower. Comparables 1 to 3, they have the wall unit air conditioner, and the comparable 4, which I would like to bring to your attention. This is a penthouse. Once again, we're talking comparable 4. They have central air conditioning. None of the comparables except the comparable 3 have the laundry, in-suite laundry. The whole complex has the shared laundry, which is available on certain levels, and so luxury of having your own in-suite laundry in the apartment, it's better than to go down with all this laundry. None of the units have the fireplace. They all have the balconies, and as you could see, the comparable 4, which is once again, this is the penthouse. It has 2 indoor parking stalls. And comparable 2 has 1 indoor and 1 outdoor parking stall. The comparable 1 to 3, they have facing the traffic, which is medium traffic, it's on Wellington. And the comparable 4, which is way more luxury, which facing the river. And that's where the adjustment needs to be done downwards. The registration date for the all comparables, they are within the reference period. The registration date for the comp 4 is not within the reference period. However, the purchase sale happened with the reference period on the 14th of February 2021, and that's why I highlighted that to make sure that that comparable has to be considered. The sale price ranged between $264,000 to the highest $440,000. And the sale price per square foot ranges between $241.10 per square foot to the highest $260.82 per square foot. In the condo, we have noticed that just for the apartment style condos, it was found that it was no significant time adjustment during the reference period. And for that reason, it's actually the prices were still more consistent. So in this case, you don't see the price adjustments just for this apartments. And I would put my most weight into comparable 4, which is the same in the same condo complex, and this is a penthouse. And I would like to stress and add that we are talking about the penthouses. So, and the comparables I did present to you, obviously they in the same condo complex, and it varies from the 6th floor, 8th floor, 9th floor. So the higher we go, the better is the value, including we have the value in the parking. And that's exactly the comparable 2 shows that they do have 1 indoor and 1 outdoor. And for that for that reason, the value is a little bit higher sale price, even though, as you could see, the effective year built, take into consideration what was done to this property is actually less than our subject and other comparables. So once again, the comp 4 would be the closest to our subject. In my professional opinion, I think this value is even underassessed. And I would like you to confirm the assessment of the price at $387,000 for our subject. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Knight, have you any questions?
No, sir.
Ms. DeLauro, questions?
No questions.
And I don't have any questions. Is there any need for summary, Ms. Kostarova?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Then we will conclude this matter and turn to number 15 on the list, which is 915 Nairn Street.
Okay, and our assessor is on Zoom as well.
If she can be affirmed, please, as well.
Madam Assessor, please state your full name.
Jennifer Nichols.
And you affirm given to represent at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Nichols, we are now on 915 Nairn Street. We have your brief, but if you could present to us, please, your brief and the evidence with respect to 915 Nairn Street.
Okay, thank you. So 915 Nairn Avenue, roll number is 14-093-484-000. This property is in East Elmwood. It's a 1-story built in 1954. Effective year built is the same. No renovations for this property. 936 square feet of living area. It has a full basement, which is not finished. 1 full bathroom, air conditioning, and no detached structures. The lot size of the subject property is 4,314 square feet. The land influences are bus route, commercial adjacent, and heavy traffic. And the 2024 assessment roll value is $164,000. So the three comparables that I've brought today are all on Nairn Avenue as well, same as the subject. So of course, they're in the same area as the subject property. You know what, actually, before I get into the comparables, maybe I'll just give you a little bit more information about the subject property. So I did speak with the representative who was going to represent the owner for this property. She indicated that no renovations have been done. The home is quite dated. It has some foundation issues, and this is something that is already being taken into account with the assessed value that you see here today. So it's something that we've noted and taken into account. I did request some updated photos because we only had some exterior photos and they were older, but due to some personal issues, the representative was not able to get the photos or do an inspection. So I've just been using the older photos that we do have, but I do think that the other thing I was going to mention is that this value was confirmed in 2023, which of course is the same reference date as 2024, and it has been appealed to the municipal board. So any changes to value at the municipal board for 2023 would carry forward to 2024 as well, since there have been no changes to the property. So I did just want to mention that about the subject. And then moving on to the comparable properties, as I mentioned, they're all on Nairn Avenue. All are dated and in need of renovation. All are one-story properties built in 1954, which is same as the subject. All have the same living area, 936 square feet. All have full basements. Comparables 1 and 3, have finished basement space. Comparable 2 does not. And the comparable properties all have one full bathroom. Comparables 1 and 2 do not have air conditioning. Comparable 3 does. And all 3 comparables do have single detached garage. Lot sizes are pretty similar for all the comparables, ranging between 4,311 up to 4,388 square feet. All have the same land influences as the subject property. And the time adjusted sale prices for the comparables ranged between 218,800 up to 235,600. So I would draw your attention to the fact that the subject property already has an assessed value that is significantly lower than any comparables that I was able to find. And that is just taking into account the condition of the property. So it's already well below any comparable sales, even though these 3 comparables are all dated and in need of renovations. So I would ask that the 2024 assessed value of $164,000 be maintained. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. DeLauro. Any questions?
I have no questions, thank you.
Ms. Knight?
No, sir.
And I have no questions. And Ms. Nichols, any need for a summary?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Then we will conclude this matter and move on to the next property on the docket, that being 301 Arlington.
Okay. Thank you. So 301 Arlington Street, roll number is 1303-083-1000. The subject property is located in St. Matthews area. It is one story, built in 1938, 532 square feet of living area. It has a full basement, which is not finished, one full bathroom, no air conditioning, no detached structures. The lot size is 3,740 square feet. And the subject property does have land influences of bus route, commercial adjacent, internal corner, and medium traffic. The current 2024 assessment value, which is under appeal, is $78,000. So regarding the subject property, again, this is the same representative for the previous property we were just discussing, and I did speak with her over the phone. No renovations have been done to the property. She did say that it's not in good condition. There had been some water in the basement, which was dealt with, but it had some mold and again, some foundation issues. So knowing that information, I did look for comparable sales that were in the same kind of condition as well. So the 3 comparables I found today are 315 Toronto Street, 256 Balmoral Street, and 625 Ingersoll Street. Comparables 1 and 3 are in the same neighborhood as the subject, and comparable number 2 is in an adjacent and similar area. All of the comparables are also one-story homes, same as the subject property. Year built ranging from 1900 up to 1913, so actually older than the subject property. Living areas ranging from 640 square feet up to 884 square feet, which is a little bit larger than the subject property. None have full basements like the subject property. None have finished basement space. And comparable number 3 is the only one that has a detached structure, which is a single detached garage. Assessed lot size ranges from 2,321 square feet up to 2,996 square feet. So all have smaller lots than the subject property. And comparable number 2 is the only one that has a land influence, which is commercial adjacent. The time adjusted sale prices range from $95,100 up to $160,500. And so again, just drawing your attention to the 2024 assessment value for the subject property at $78,000. It is well below any of the comparables that I have brought today. And I did also want to mention that all of these comparables were sold in no as-is condition. So comparable number 1, there was no access to the house during the sale. Comparable number 2 said no interior showings. Comparable number 3 was listed as a handyman special. So they were all in fairly poor condition. And so I think they are very comparable in terms of condition. And I do think that the assessed value should be maintained. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Knight, questions?
No, sir.
Ms. DeLauro?
None, thank you.
And I have no questions. Ms. Nichols, is there any need for a summary?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Then we'll conclude that matter and move on to number 17 on the docket, the street address of 43 Rochester.
Okay. So 43 Rochester Avenue, roll number is 0304-204-5000. This property is a 1-story. It is built in 1976. Living area of 1,787 square feet, has a full basement, which is not finished, 1 full bathroom, 2 half bathrooms, 1 shower, air conditioning, and a multiple attached garage. The lot size for the subject property is 7,174 square feet, and it has land influences of external corner and light traffic. The 2024 assessment value, which is under appeal, is $351,000. The comparables that I brought today are all in the same area as the subject property, Fort Richmond. So I have 116 Valence Avenue, 26 Briarcliff Bay, 38 Milliken Road, and 97 Linacre Road. The comparables 1, 2, and 4 are 2-story properties. Comparable 3 is a 2 1-story. So basically, the difference is that a 2-story would have pretty much the second story would have the same footprint as the main floor, and the 2 1-story would have a smaller second floor footprint from the main floor. The year built range from 1968 up to 1977, so very close to the subject property. Living areas range from 1,592 square feet up to 2,162 square feet. All the sale properties have full basements, which are finished. So that would be a difference from the subject property. And comparables 1 and 2 have single attached garages as opposed to the multiple attached comparables 3, 4, and the subject property. The lot sizes range from 6,303 square feet up to 7,677 square feet. And the time adjusted sale prices range from $377,600 up to $421,300. So again, as with the other 2 properties, you can see that the comparables that I was able to find, which are all dated and in need of renovations in order to modernize them, all of those sale prices are higher than the 2024 assessed value of the subject property. And the subject property in this case is in need, it's dated and in need of some renovations. No issues were mentioned in terms of foundation or anything like that. So I think it's just the property is dated. So that's the same as the comparables. And so I would ask that the 2024 assessment value for this property be maintained. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. DeLauro, any questions?
No questions, thank you.
Ms. Knight?
No, sir.
And I have no questions. Ms. Nichols, any need for summary?
No, thank you.
Then that will conclude this matter as well. I think that concludes your presentations today, Ms. Nichols.
Yes.
Thank you very much for attending and providing your evidence.
Okay.
We've now heard all of the items scheduled, and this hearing is adjourned.